Umirinso, give me wealth and honor. Go to Umirinso and fetch water now. Even if night falls, you will go. What is happening? Please, mercy. Please, I need mercy.
Wake up before the cock crows. Sweep, fetch wood, tend the cassava.
Look at her rags, river child, spirit-born girl. This pot cuts my hand, but my heart must not break with it.
Once upon a time, in the quiet Igbo village of Umuoka, nestled between ancient Iroko trees and red clay paths that carried the footsteps of ancestors, 14-year-old Nkiru lived a life woven with silent pain under the roof of her late father's compound, where her stepmother Udochi ruled with bitterness, hardened by envy and superstition, believing the girl was the reason her husband died suddenly after returning from the farm near the sacred Mirinso River, a stream feared and revered, spoken of only in hushed tones because the elders said spirits walk with its waters. And though Nkiru rose before the cockcrow to sweep the compound, fetch firewood, tend cassava moulds, and fetch water with a cracked clay pot that caught her palms, she never allowed hatred to grow in her heart, remembering her mother's last teaching that Obioma ka ego, a good heart is greater than wealth. Yet life tasted her daily as Udochi fed her leftovers, dressed her in rags, and publicly humiliated her, while her own daughters mocked Nkiru as cursed. One evening, when the sky darkened early and the wind carried strange stillness, Nkiru was sent alone to fetch water from the Mirinso River at twilight, a forbidden hour when even hunters avoided the forest. And as she approached the river bank, fear tightening her chest, she heard a weak groan and saw an old woman slumped beside the water, her wrapper soaked, her eyes cloudy yet sharp, ignored by passerby who crossed themselves and hurried away, whispering that the river takes what it wants. But Nkiru, though trembling, knelt down, offered the woman water from her pot, washed her muddy feet, and shared her only boiled corn, listening as the stranger spoke softly of patience, sacrifice, and how rivers never forget those who show mercy.
Aye, drink some water. Let me wash your feet. This corn is all I have.
Patience, child. Sacrifice is never forgotten. Rivers remember kindness.
Her voice echoing strangely like water flowing from stones, and when Nkiru looked up again, the woman was gone. The river surface smooth and shining as if nothing happened, leaving the girl shaking, yet strangely at peace. Days later, rumors spread that the river was restless as fish floated lifeless and strange drums echoed at night without human hands. And when Udochi secretly followed Nkiru and forced the story out of her, greed ignited her heart, convincing herself that if kindness brought reward, force would bring greater riches. And despite warnings from elders and dibias, she stormed to Mirinso at night, carrying charms and arrogance, shouting demands for wealth and power.
Sir! Spirit of Mirinso, give me wealth and honor.
But the village was jolted away by a scream so sharp it felt like the earth cracked, and by dawn, villagers gathered in horror around a terrifying sight. A life-size stone figure standing at the river bank, shaped like a woman clutching a broken clay pot, her face frozen in terror, unmistakably Udochi's, causing elders to fall flat in reverence as they declared that Idemili, the river goddess, had judged greed and cruelty, turning flesh to stone as a warning to generations. From that day, Nkiru's fate unfolded like a story, guided by unseen hands, as dreams led her to healing herbs that saved the village chief's dying son. Wisdom flowed from her mouth beyond her age, and the same river that once terrified her now simmered gently whenever she approached, and she was taken in by the chief priest Nze Okore, who raised her with care, educated her in both tradition and wisdom, until the once rejected girl became a pillar of the community, respected and protected, while the stone woman remained beside Mirinso, most creeping over the shoulders as seasons passed, mothers pointing at it while teaching their children that wickedness plans its own punishment, and Nkiru, who had known hunger and cruelty, grew into a woman of honor whose story was told by moonlight, reminding Umuoka that suffering does not justify cruelty, that kindness is a language spirits understand, and that in villages where ancestors listen and rivers remember, destiny is shaped not by power or blood, but by the quiet strength of a compassionate heart that refuses to become bitter even when tested by pain.
I am Nkiru. I am not the river's daughter. I am only its keeper.